afternoon, everyone. I'm Shauna Randolph, Edmonton Humane Society spokesperson, and welcome to our April 2012 Edmonton Humane Society's podcast, coming to you live via Fuse Logic Television. And this month, where are we? We are actually broadcasting live from our shelter, something not normally done, but we're able to this month while a new set is being built. We'll show you that in upcoming months. Coming up this half hour, saying we wish you well to a lovely feline that has captured so many hearts over being with us in the past few months or so, Valentina, who came to us after almost starving to death. We will chat with her foster mom, who tearfully parted with Valentina when she was placed up for adoption. Also coming up, meet the man who runs our maintenance department for our huge facility. It's more than just fixing things or putting things up around the shelter. He can get pretty creative. And as usual, we have Evan Adnams from Fuse Logic behind the scenes running the show. You can't see him, but you can hear him. He says, get in the chat room. If you have any questions that you would like answered during the show, just ask in the chat room. We will try to address it here before we wrap up the show this half an hour. But first, to our hot topic of the month, baby wild animals. Every year, someone ends up bringing some sort of wild animal baby to us, thinking that it's abandoned. In reality, many times they're not. The mom is nearby, not wanting to attract predators to the little one, and that is exactly the case with wild hares. The babies are often seen alone, especially during the day, and people scoop them up, trying to rescue them. It's not good at all. We explain why and how you can help them in this interview I had recently with a wildlife conservationist with the Edmonton Wildlife Rehabilitation Society. So Stephanie, this is something we see every year, and there's a lot of confusion around these adorable little jackrabbits.
Yeah, they're born fully furred and they have no scent on them. So instead of being in a nest, the mom spreads them out over a wide open grassy area, and they stay safely hidden from predators by staying still all day. And at dusk and at dawn, the mom comes around and they start getting more active and hop around and find their mom to get fed. When people come across these baby hares, they tend to think that they're orphaned because they don't see a nest close, or they're not in a nest and they don't see the mom close by. So people pick them up and take them home thinking that they're rescuing the little baby hare, but really what they're doing is kidnapping it. Mm-hmm. There's lots of reasons why people shouldn't pick them up, obviously. One is that you're putting human scent on the baby hare, and when you put human scent on it, lots of people think that the mom won't take care of it, but that's not true. She will still take care of it, but it makes it less safe for the little baby jackrabbit to hide, because now that it smells like people, it will attract predators like cats and dogs.
So the bottom line is people think they're really making a difference and helping, but as you said, they're kidnapping them. And it's just must be so frustrating for you.
Yeah, so lots of baby wild animals are meant to be by themselves and are left by themselves, either because it's safer for them to hide or because their parents are out gathering food. So if you see a baby wild animal by itself, that's completely normal. And if you're concerned about it, you can always talk to our experts on our wildlife hotline at 780-914-4118. And we can ask you questions and help you figure out if that animal really does need help or if it just needs to be left by itself.
Right, you are the experts that are able to make that determination. So it's always best if they see it and they wonder, call, don't just pick it up and bring it. And I bet a lot of people forget where they found it too. So when they bring them to us sometimes, but they of course bring them to you, and then you ask, well, where did you get it? Oh, I don't remember. It's important to remember. Well, first of all, not to pick it up, but
yes, exactly. And the mom, for those little baby jackrabbits, the mom can find them within a block radius of where she left them because they hop around. So sometimes they're found in parking lots or dangerous spots like that, and you can scurry them over or safely pick them up and put them in a grassy area that's close by if we are concerned about it. And it is really important to remember the general area where it came from so that it can be reunited with its mom.
Right. What do you do, your group, with them when you get them in?
When we get them in, if we know where it came from and know that it's healthy, then we put it back so that it can be with its mom and learn all of the normal behaviors that it's supposed to and have its mom's milk. If that's not possible, or if it is injured, we take it in and care for it. We medicate it if need be and try and raise them. But they're very scared of people because, like most wildlife, they view us as a predator. So they don't do all that well because they're really scared at this big, huge predator that's trying to care for them. But some of them are able to be rehabilitated and do make it safely back to the wild.
Bottom line is, if people just knew more, and if you do know, spread the message, leave them alone.
Exactly, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It is hard to say goodbye to all the animals that touch our hearts when they go up for adoption, especially for anyone who fosters. Our Valentina found her forever home over the past month after spending several weeks with her foster mom, who is also our fund development manager here at the Edmonton Humane Society. The black, beautiful cat first came to us at the end of January after almost starving to death. She was hiding in an empty apartment suite without food or water for about 3 weeks. After doubling her weight, though, in our care, Valentina recently went up for adoption. And it was bittersweet for her foster mom, Jocelyn, as we hear from her now.
It's a very bittersweet day for me. We've got Valentina here for her, in her adoption kennel. She's going up for adoption this morning, so it's the last part of her journey with us and the start of her new life. She's been very much a joy to have in my home for the last few weeks. She's a very, very sweet and affectionate cat. She actually headbutts so hard it hurts sometimes. She does that cat headbutting on the chin, and she's just a lovely girl. She's still a little bit uncertain sometimes, so she gets a little hissy and growly, but she never means it. She's just, when she's a little bit afraid, that's how she reacts. I'm amazed at how smart she is. I put in a Sure Flap in my home, which is a cat flap that operates off of cat's microchips, and allows access into specific areas. I have dogs at home, so I have a problem with my dogs getting into my cat's litter box, and I installed that to help fight that. And Valentina was actually the first cat in my home to figure it out. So my own cats at home hadn't figured it out, but Valentina got it right away. She's just a joy to have around, a really bright, beautiful cat, and she's gonna make a lovely cat for somebody in their home. So I'm gonna miss her terribly.
After all this time, how do you say goodbye?
Well, it is bittersweet for sure, because I know that she's going on to the next phase of her life, and she will find a great home and live out her days very happy. So I focus on that part of it and not the part of me saying goodbye. Of course, you'd love to hang on to them all, but then you can't help anymore. So it's important for her to find her home with somebody else now.
And now, as part of our monthly success story section, I welcome beside me Diane Giannakopoulos, along with Oliver. Welcome, you two.
Thank you.
Now, Oliver has a wonderful story. He wasn't adopted from us, but we still invited him along since he's quite remarkable. We'll find out something about him. But first, Diane, I want to talk to you about a cat, a lovely cat you adopted from the Edmonton Humane Society named Mabel, and she had her odds against her, right?
Yes, she did. Her mother was exposed to distemper when she was carrying the kittens, and Mabel has some brain injuries because of that.
Right.
But she has turned out to be a very wonderful cat. We never regret adopting her. She's a wonderful little cat.
Yeah, and so when you first found out the challenges she had, it must have been a little scary, not knowing, and you've learned a lot about it and learned that she can live a normal life.
Yes, that's right. She had a lot of problems when she was a kitten. For instance, when she went upstairs, instead of going at an angle, she would try to go straight up. And of course, she would land on her back. Right. And that was very frustrating for her. But she learned very quickly how to do that. Using the litter box wasn't a problem. Eating has always been a bit of a problem. She kind of bobs. But she's learned to deal with it. And she's a little overweight, so I guess she learned very well. But she has been a real joy.
And I understand one of her favorite things to do is be in your backyard. You have a beautiful garden, and she can't get out of the yard at all. And she likes to hang out with Oliver.
That's right.
So that's one thing, of course. You know, we, again, focus on animals that are adopted through us, and I'm so glad that Mabel turned out well. Mm-hmm. But I need to talk about Oliver, too, because Oliver alerted your family to a fire, but basically saved your life, right?
That's right. The fire was in the garage. The master bedroom is right above the garage. My husband and I were sound asleep. We didn't hear or smell anything. And he started barking, and he does not bark for no reason. So we got up and checked it out, and yes, there was a fire in the garage. If he hadn't alerted us, I probably wouldn't be here right now, because our cars were both in the garage, and with the gas in the tank,
Right.
it was very hot in the garage.
Wow.
So it was in the nick of time. And we were out of our house for 3 months while the insurance service people cleaned our house. And we had to stay in a hotel, but he was able to stay with us.
Oh, that's good,
Yeah.
especially after everything.
Yeah.
Wow. So just remarkable. And you hear of these stories, so it's so great to meet one of them that, a pure, true pet hero. And he and Mabel doing well. That's so great. I'm so glad that you shared your story, not only about Mabel, but Oliver too. And we always just throw out there for anyone who joins us on the show, just a final message for anyone who's maybe considering adopting from the Edmonton Humane Society.
We are very happy that we adopted Mabel. We had no problems with the adoption. Had to bring her back a couple times, and always got really good service. It's a great place to adopt an animal from, and I encourage everybody out there to, if you're looking for an animal, come to the Humane Society before you go to a pet store.
Well, we really appreciate your support, and thank you for coming, Diane.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. We'll have you stay there for 1 sec. Stay with us, everyone. We're going to take a short break. Coming up, how our behavior specialists help kittens and puppies learn how to basically adjust to everyday stress. All about a therapy done in our shelter that helps them be well-adjusted adult animals down the road. And much more, of course, coming up just after the short break.
So I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
Welcome back. We are live in the Edmonton Humane Society, and we strive to help homeless puppies and kittens become more basically adoptable as they get a little older. And some of them have problems with dealing with stress. So here behind the scenes, we have our specialists do something called early neurological stimulation, or ENS. It's a procedure that helps the little ones be better at handling general stress to make them more adoptable as they get a little older. Here's more in this chat I had recently with one of our behavior specialists. Louise, let's talk about what early neurological stimulation is. It's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. We condense it to ENS here. I've done some research, and this has come up for me big time in terms of helping our really, really young puppies and kittens have a better start in terms of their responses to the world, how they deal with stress, being able to better fight off disease. This has been developed by a doctor called Dr. Carmen Battaglia.
Okay.
And this information is starting to be used by a variety of breeders in order to help their puppies and kittens come along, and primarily puppies, but it can be used with kittens too. What it is, it's a 5-step process that will very mildly stimulate the puppy or kitten, which actually it gives them long-term benefits. They get stronger cardiovascular, which is actually heart rate, stronger heartbeats, their adrenal glands are stronger, they can better cope with stress, and finally they're better equipped to fight off disease, so their immune systems are increased.
Okay, and I noticed when I watched you do it that there's a lot of careful handling,
There
a lot
is.
of attention being done with the paws, that sort of thing. Explain
Right.
that.
Because this is such a rapid rate of development in puppies and kittens at this time, between 3 days and 20 days since birth, There are certain stimuli that make a difference to an animal this young. Tactile being one of them, which is, of course, the touching. There is thermal, which is anything cold in this particular case. There's also the stimulus of locomotion and motion. So there are 5 steps we take with those kittens that actually include all those 5 points and give a mild stressor to the animal.
And how often would you do this with, let's say, this litter here?
This litter, you would do it once a day only for 3 to 5 seconds per movement. So it's very short, just once a day. You don't want to overstress them, and you have to watch the kitten or the puppy. If you find that one is more stressed than the other, then you reduce it to maybe 3 seconds per exercise rather than extend it to the 5. You have to kind of watch it so that you're not overly stressing them, which can have detrimental effects.
So I guess the bottom line is that this is important to help us have a well-rounded animal when they're ready for adoption.
This is what we're trying for, yes, for sure. It gives them a little bit more resistance to life, stress and biologically in terms of disease and immunity. And it's been proved that they end up being able to problem solve better. They can, they don't stress out as quickly as litters that have not been through the program. So all in all, it's such a good start for them. And then continued socialization from, 3 weeks on, and enrichment throughout their whole lives should essentially help to at least achieve somewhat of a well-balanced dog in the future. But there are so many different factors that that can make a good dog. Right. This is just one part.
Yeah, and this is just one of many things that the Behavior Department here at the Edmonton Humane Society works on.
That's right.
Thank you, Louise.
You're welcome.
And now, marking National Volunteer Week, we have almost 700 active volunteers helping us out in various ways here at the Edmonton Humane Society. So this year, in honor of all of them, we showcase our oldest one, John Carpan. He's almost 90 years old. He comes here once a week to help out. He's quite spry, quite a character, and also the father of our CEO, Stephanie McDonald. Enjoy this lovely conversation I recently had with John about what he does and how he makes a difference. John, I am told that you are the oldest volunteer here. Did you know that?
Oh, am I? Yeah, I think I heard something to that effect.
Yeah. Being that you're Stephanie's father, it makes it even more interesting, our CEO's father. She tells me that it took a little while for you to really understand what she did a couple years ago.
Yeah, I wondered what can you do at a doghouse for a volunteer?
Yeah, and she took exception. Doghouse, we're not a doghouse. But it's changed so much in your mind, hasn't it? You do understand more.
That's right, yeah. It's much more elaborate than a doghouse.
Why do you like being here?
Well, I like the personal contact. People are nice to me because I'm a senior, I think.
And you come every Tuesday?
I come in on Tuesdays, yeah, after my curling.
Okay, well, very active.
Yeah.
What do you do here?
I started out doing a lot of paperwork in the office, but now I mainly have 2 things. One is the pricing at the Bingo's Pet Shop, with the inventory coming in. And then I do the coin separation whenever there's enough coin in and then I count Canadian Tire money.
Do you have any idea how much what you do makes a difference here?
I don't know. I kind of thought they told me I was the only one that could handle the machine, so I think I'm indispensable.
I think so too. I think that's a term that people have used for you here.
So I'm demanding more pay now.
You want more?
I'm getting 2 cups of coffee instead of 1.
So this is something you are planning to do as long as you can keep as active as you are, hey?
Yeah, I live in southeast Edmonton, so it's a fair drive, but in wintertime anyway. But otherwise, I kind of look forward to it and get organized.
Do you ever have any time here to go spend with the animals?
I'm actually allergic to animals.
You're allergic?
Yeah. It takes a while. That's a long term. thingy. And so I always wondered how it was going to be when I worked here, but it doesn't affect me at all.
And I guess it makes sense then. You want to help, and
Yeah.
if you're allergic to animals, then being part of administration and helping with
It
counting
is-
things.
Yeah, that's right. It's much better for me that way. Yeah.
So what do you say to people that may think about volunteering with the Edmonton Humane Society but haven't really made that decision yet, to encourage others?
Yeah, I'd say it's really worthwhile, and it's not a difficult or demanding process. So it'd be nice to have as many volunteers as possible.
And make a difference
And,
like you.
And keep it up.
Thank you.
Okay.
He is just wonderful. We're going to take a short break again, but coming up, the hottest new items at Bingo's Pet Shop inside our shelter right here in our building, especially in time for spring, and meet the man leading the team that keeps this wonderful building running. Don't go away.
He's had his weekly bath, now he's looking good. And he's cruising the neighborhood. He's strutting his stuff and he's looking tough, but he's not looking for a fight, he's looking for some love. He knows that somewhere down the street there's a girl dog waiting there in heat. He can hear her howling with desire. Now he's jumping the fence to put out the fire. Why don't you neuter that boy? Neuter that boy. Why don't you spay that girl? Spay that girl. There's so many homeless, helpless animals in the world. Do something good for society. Take home a dog or cat to your family and neuter that boy and spay that girl. They are God's creatures, and that's the truth. They're not put here to be abused. Dogs and cats are like me and you. Sometimes they need a little loving too. In all the shelters throughout the land, people are doing the best that they can to find the animals a loving home and a family that they can call their own. To all the rescuers, let me say, thanks for your kind, unselfish ways. God's gonna bless you for all you do, and if the animals could talk, they'd thank you too. Why don't you neuter that boy? Neuter that boy. Why don't you spay that girl? Spay that girl. There's so many homeless, helpless animals in the world. Do something good for society. Take home a dog or cat to your family and neuter that boy. Spay that girl. Oh, neuter that boy. Spay that girl.
Welcome back. Many times people come into our beautiful shelter here in Northwest Edmonton and are in awe of it. It really is amazing, and also a lot of work to maintain, from custodial duties to repairs and upkeep to enhancements. We have a fantastic maintenance department with some wonderful members of the team, all led by a man named Barry Morgan. Barry always has a smile on his face. He works extremely hard and is very creative. I chatted with him recently about all that he does, including creating things like a special play area for cats. Here's that for you now. So Barry, you've been here more than 3 years. Take me back to why you joined the Edmonton Humane Society in the first place.
Well, I was in aviation for 37 years, and I decided that it was time for a change. Plus, I injured my shoulder working on airplanes, so I needed to do something a little bit easier. And I thought this job would be kind of like semi-retirement, and it's turned out to be the exact opposite. I work harder now than I ever. But I've always loved animals, and this place really attracted me with its philosophy and how it how it behaves with animals, and it was just a natural fit.
Right, and you were able to experience the old building on 66th Street in Yellowhead, and you were literally keeping it together before we left.
Band-Aids and duct tape, yes.
And then moved into this wonderful facility. So that must have been just a wonderful experience too, to be part of the big move.
It was, and this building is amazing. We've had visitors from all over North America, and everybody who comes here says the same thing, that this building is incredible. And it's like comparing a Cadillac to a Model T with the old building. It was in terrible condition. And this one is just fantastic. And we continue to improve it and make things that make it animal friendly.
Right.
And we're standing in front of one of them right now.
Yeah, tell me about this one. This came from an idea from Stephanie, our CEO, right?
Well, actually, I call it Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
Because it's like a crow's nest on a ship. And Stephanie had saw something in a magazine similar to this, and she gave me the picture, and she says, "Do you think you can do anything like this?" And so I said, "Sure, I think I can." So I put something together. Cats love height, so they love to perch.
Yeah.
And that's why there's perches everywhere, and the staircase going up.
Yeah.
And we have a little sample right here, and he really seems to be enjoying it.
He does for sure. And we are in the feline enrichment room. This is where basically the volunteers come and socialize the cats that aren't quite up for adoption yet, where they're in the kennels in the back, as we call it. So something like this, that you get to see the joy of the animals enjoying it themselves, to something as simple as putting up shelves in our Bingo's Pet Shop, or putting up clipboards for the documentation for animals around the building. It's a wide variety of what you do.
It is, and that's one of the things I find attractive about it, is the constant, something new every day. And it taps into my creativity and as well as my mechanical skills. Because it's not just something like this, but I have to maintain the heating and ventilation systems in the building. And the air systems in this building are quite complicated because of pet odor. We do complete air changes in each room 12 times an hour.
Yeah.
So we have quite a complicated mechanical system, and I have to keep up to speed on all that stuff too.
Right, and then as well you supervise the rest of the maintenance staff, of course.
Yes, I have a staff of 5, primarily custodial staff, but I also have a couple of fellows who help me out with mechanical things too. It's a never-ending, it's constant.
So not quite what you had thought of, as you said?
Not my semi-retirement plan, no, but I love every minute of it.
Okay.
And I have 3 cats at home and 3 dogs, and I constantly foster, and I only had one of each when I started working here. So.
That's what happens, Barry.
That's what happens, exactly. And I still foster all the time too, so my house is always full of animals.
So you're not retiring yet?
No.
Good, we need you.
No. Thank you.
Every month we check in with our shelter store, Bingo's Pet Shop, to keep you connected and show you the new trendy pet care items. We take you each month directly to our store right here in our shelter, and of course to our Bingo's expert, the store supervisor, Nadine Johnson. Let's show you the cool new items showcased this month. Nadine, I am so excited about seeing a new product here that I just can't wait for you to talk about.
Oh, we got a couple ones.
So easily, I don't know. This bus is so cool. What is it?
Actually, I brought it in because it's a really cool product for hamsters, guinea pigs, gerbils, dagu, you name it. Anything that could fit in the hole, they can chew and nibble on it too.
Yeah. So with that, how much would this be?
$7.89.
So it's not too bad. You know that they're probably going to chew it.
Exactly.
Because they all like to chew. So that's a good value, and it entertains them.
Exactly.
And gives them the security for when they like to
And
hide.
it's cool to look at.
It is very, very cool. All right. I love this one. Sticky Paws on a Roll. Stop cats from destroying furniture.
We do carry the soft paws, but this is another product I bring in case anybody doesn't want to use the soft paw product. This one here is it's sticky tape, two-way tape, clear, so you can't even tell it's on the furniture.
So it's not even shiny? It just kind of blends in the best
It blends in, and so when they go to put their paw, it gets stuck. So instead of them getting that sensation of scratching, they can't get it, so they stop.
All right. That is really, really good. I love that. I think a lot of people would be interested in that. $14.99. Okay, with spring, a lot of animals, dogs going outside, getting mucky or whatever.
Same with cats, rolling in that fresh grass. It's a product that will help you smell your animal without having to smell your animal.
So it's a body mist.
Yeah, absolutely. And a detangler for those who are looking for a product that helps get rid of the gnats or whatever from rolling around in the grass and stuff.
Pet friendly though, safe
absolutely.
for them. We know they lick themselves,
yep,
right?
Absolutely.
So pretty safe for them.
Yep.
Okay, and this one here, eco friendly. Easy Walk harness and leash. What's that made from?
It's made from 100% recyclable plastic. It's got a different feel. It's actually a really nice feel. It's kind of got a stretchy feel to it, and the colors are in this beautiful lime green and a nice red.
So some people may not know what an Easy Walk harness is. It looks kind of odd to people because usually they're used to seeing the clip on the back when they're walking, but it's right on their chest.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of an Easy Walk harness?
It stops them from pulling, and it's also a great training device. It helps you train them to sit better, and just all around helps you train them because you get the dog's attention to you instead of what's going on around them.
Right, and much more control.
Absolutely.
For a person walking.
Absolutely.
And then this, on special, is it? With the
Yep.
Kong stuff in?
Yep,
I see
it
that
is
there.
great for using for in with the Kong product or any product that you can put. You want the dog to have more attention to. You just squirt it on. You can freeze it or just anything you want to put it on, and it's 50% off this month.
50% off. So they just love that. Anything that you can have inside that Kong for them to lick in that.
Well, it's the Kong product. There's so many products nowadays that you can stuff with. This, you can use it on any toy, a treat, even a rope. If you want to squirt it on the rope, freeze it, it gives that toy a whole new meaning to the dog.
And let's talk again. We usually do because we just want to remind people all proceeds from anything sold in bingos goes to
the Edmonton Humane Society. Everything. It goes right back into the shelter.
Yeah, this is not owned by anybody else.
Nope.
Thank you, Nadine.
Thanks, Shauna.
And now to our question and answer section. At the beginning of the show, we encouraged you to ask a question in the chat room and that we would try to get it to it near the end of the show when we are doing this now. There was a question about our summer camp, Camp Sit, Stay, Play, whether we're going to have it again this summer, and absolutely we are. They are daytime, week-long sessions, and there are different weeks in different months of July and August. So that is coming up. What you need to do is if you have a child that is in either grade 1 through 8, then just sign up online. There is the online application form at edmontonhumanesociety.com, or you can call 780-491-3504. Spaces fill up very quickly, so you'll want to do it right away, and there's all sorts of things. Hands-on animal encounters. You can basically learn how, as a child, to be respectful to animals and learn respect, compassion, that sort of thing. It's wonderful. As I said, very, very popular. So Camp Sit, Stay, Play, spread the word. And we are now at the end of our April 2012 show, broadcast live from our beautiful shelter. Coming up next month, gearing you up for Edmonton's official Pet Festival, our Pets in the Park. This year, we are marking an anniversary. It is our 20th annual, so we'll be celebrating with creative ways to showcase the number 20, like a museum looking back at the shelter over the past 20 years, for example. Anyway, next month, we will fill you in on what to expect on Sunday, June 24th, and talk you through how to collect sponsors online if you want to take part in our fun run or walk portion of the event. All you need to know about this year's Pets in the Park on our next show coming up in May. And that's it for this month. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to watching, not walking. Thank you to Fuse Logic Television, as usual, for donating the airtime and live production for us to bring you the show every month. Mark your calendars. The next one is set for Monday, May 14th at noon. And spread the word. This show will be on video on demand format for others to see through the Edmonton Humane Society and Fuse Logic TV websites in a few days. Take care. Please keep tabs on us via our website and on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, everything. We'll see you next month.